Welcome back to Ancient Domains of Mystery. MeMe, our Mist Elven merchant, died in the last recording. I had batch recorded her adventures, so all 3 episodes have been recorded over the course of a single night. While uploading those videos to YouTube, some people gave me some real pro tips, okay, some good comments. But I was unable to incorporate them into my play because I had already recorded the episodes. I really feel like I didn't do that character justice. I feel like before I got those tips and did some more research on my own, I didn't understand how to play a Mist Elf. So for that reason, for the sake of learning and seeing if I can do better, I have actually created another Mist Elf ring merchant. Now, she's not going to have the same rings. She hasn't created it on Creator's Day, so she's not going to have Lucky or Fate Smiles. She's just an ordinary Mist Elven ring merchant. The reason I've done this is because I want to play her through kind of the same course I did with the other character and see if I can do it better this time by incorporating tips from those comments. So let's give it a shot, shall we? Restore an old game, and here is MeMeMe, a female level 1 Mist Elven merchant. I have not looked at her yet, so let's see what she's got going on. She has 6 of 8 hit points because she was rolled on a Monday, and anytime you roll a character on a Monday, they start out slightly exhausted. A bit of humor on the part of the creator. She has 5 mana. She has a strength of 10, which is okay. Learning of 20, pretty good. Wisdom of 13, okay. Dexterity 17, pretty good. Toughness of 8, could be better. Charisma of 11, doesn't matter. Appearance 27, heck yeah, as far as not getting corrupted. Mana 23, so that's cool. And Perception of 22, so that's real cool. Let's look at her inventory, shall we? She has +0/+0 clothes. Those are going to come off right now. +0/+0 gloves. Now, I'm going to take the gloves off right now, but I'm going to hold on to them because I didn't realize how realistic the system was that handled damage to elves from lower metals. Apparently, if you have gloves on, the items in your hands will not cause you damage, even if they're a lower metal. For those that don't know and had not watched the previous recordings, Mist Elves, High Elves, all the different elves take damage anytime they come in contact with iron or steel. So they have to use crystal, mithril, adamantium, eternium, things of that nature. Okay, so then we're going to take the leather boots off. And now we are in true berserk mode, which means if we hit an enemy right now, we will lust for blood and do additional damage to them. That comes into play whenever you don't have any clothing on. Apparently running around naked makes you lust for blood. It doesn't have that effect on me, but I'm not a Mist Elven warrior. Let's look at what we got. Ring of the Fish, very awesome. If I was a druid, I would dive into the water right now. Ring of Defense +1. 2 rings of fire resistance, very cool. Another Ring of the Fish, very cool. Their status doesn't matter because as soon as you put them on, they become cursed. Ring of Acid resistance, very cool. Ring of Stun resistance, very cool during the early game. Another Ring of Acid resistance. So this is not as good as the starting rings we had with MeMe, because MeMe had a ring that increased our defense values, protection values specifically. This character does not have that. All the same, it's not a bad start. An iron ration, 1,766 gold. Let's leave here, and let's go get our first kill. Probably going to be that Kobold Archer, but let's look around first. I'm not going to kick that door. So, one of the things I learned in the comments was that Mist Elves can equip one lower metal ring and it won't damage them. They only take damage when they equip 2 lower metal rings, at which point they will take 1 point of damage per turn. So, we can equip a ring. Fire resistance rings are made out of wood, I know that. So, I'm going to go ahead and equip one, make sure it's not cursed. It's not. The reason I'm doing that is there's a lot of early game traps that do fire damage. And fire damage could be a one-hit death for us right now because we're so low on hit points. Now, for my next ring, I'm a bit torn between a ring of acid resistance or a ring of stun resistance. Now, I'm going to go with stun resistance because this character is so weak it would be very easy for them to get stunned in melee combat right now, whereas an acid resistance ring would, again, protect us from traps. By looking at this, I see we have 2 rings of acid resistance, and they're in 2 different stacks, which means one of them could be cursed. So for right now, I'm going to hold off on equipping the acid resistance rings. There's 2 stun resistance rings, but they're in a stack together. Now, they could be cursed, both of them. They both could be blessed, but usually whenever you see a stack, since uncursed rings are more common, that indicates you've got a stack of uncursed rings. The odds are with you on that, but it's still a gamble, so let's go ahead and try one of those on. Actually, I don't know what stun resistance rings are made out of, so let's go ahead and apply our metallurgy skill to it. They're made from metal. What's the ring of acid resistance made out of? It's also made from metal. Now, I don't know, this could be a higher metal, in which case they wouldn't damage us. But let's go ahead and put on a ring of stun resistance. Is it cursed? It is not. Okay. There we go. Now, that door could be trapped, so we're not going to kick it. One good trap could kill us right now. Actually, you know what? We are wearing a ring of fire resistance. Let's regen hit points. And I'm going to go ahead and kick it, because since I'm standing at an angle, the stone block trap cannot hit us, because it always hits the square immediately in front of the door. Excuse me 1 second while I get a cat. Cookie? No. Happens every episode. It's a tradition. Okay, so a stone block trap would fall straight outwards, so it's not going to hit us here. The other usual option on one of these doors is a fireball trap. Since we're wearing a ring of fire resistance, let's actually equip both of them. Well, hold on. Were they in a stack? Yes. So we know they're both uncursed. Let's equip both of them. And this should mean a fireball trap would do next to no damage to us. I'm actually going to label those and indicate they're uncursed. Actually, unlabeled one. And then let's label our rings of stun resistance so we know about them as well. I guess they could be blessed, so let's do that. And that would actually be a better naming convention for these rings of fire resistance too. So let's do this so we can name them both at the same time. There we go. And you name items by looking at the letter here and then holding down shift and hitting that letter, and it'll let you rename them. Okay, so 2 rings of fire resistance. Let's kick in this door. Oh, we're blinded by a flash of light. Okay. So we're going to wait that out. We can see again. Okay. Let's switch in this out for a ring of stun resistance. And there's a bat. So we can kill either a bat or a kobold as our first kill. The reason that is important is because, well, for 2 reasons. There's 2 quests. There's one called the Courage Quest. Now, the Courage Quest, once you've killed a certain number of monsters, you go talk to a character in the game, and he gives you the Courage Quest. He then tells you to kill a number more of that monster, and you will, or of the first monster you've killed. He tells you to kill a certain number of the first monster that you killed in the game. And once you've done that, he teaches you the Courage skill, which means you don't take a penalty when surrounded. Now, alternately, if you're going for an Ultra ending, which is a special ending in the game, there's an NPC that spawns on a specific level of a dungeon, and the level he spawns on is equal to how many of the first monster you've killed. So, like, if I killed that bat, and I killed 50 of them through the course of the game, then win that dungeon, I would have to go down 50 levels. Whereas if I only killed one, I would only have to go down one level. Excuse me while I yell at the cat again. Cookie! No, you're causing all sorts of trouble this evening. Okay, so hopefully I adequately explained that while distracted by kittens, who are still raining down havoc around me, but that's okay. It's more minor havoc. So your first kill is important for those reasons. You want to kill something. We're going to go for courage. We're not bothering with an alternate ending for this character. I've only ever won the game once. Excuse me. Tiger. No. 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 Excuse me again. We're not going for an ultra ending. I've only ever won the game once, so I really don't think I could do an ultra ending. So we're definitely going to take the courage quest if we survive that long. Guess I should go show you guys the talents I went with this character. I went with alert so that we can eventually get treasure hunter. I went with long stride. Movement costs 950 energy points. That lets us walk faster. I went with sixth sense. More easily avoids traps because, again, traps can one-hit kill a mist elf during their early levels. So, bats cannot open doors, luckily. I would accept a bat as my first kill. I would also accept any of these goblins. I would also accept that kobold, but I do want to look around. There's that bat again. Never know when you might find something good in the Unremarkable Cave. I believe that's the name of this area. There's a skeleton. Now, skeleton would actually be an excellent first kill because there is a place in the game where you can find loads of skeletons. So he will probably be our first kill. Oh, speaking of all this, I forgot. You see, I'm forgetting things, but I remember more quickly this time than I did with the last character. Merchants get a bonus when throwing gold pieces as a missile weapon. So let's go ahead and do that. The other thing I've learned about Mist Elves is that they actually have a defensive bonus in melee combat. I didn't know that. Apparently they have something called Mist Armor, which basically means... See, a Mist Elf is not an elf in the traditional sense. They are actually made of mist. So it's coalesced into a form. So since they're not entirely solid, they get a bonus to defense when in melee combat. So there's that, which makes up to some small extent for their otherwise pathetic hit points. There's an orc. He would also be a good first kill since you can find lots of them. Is that orc going to attack the skeleton? Because I would want to kill the skeleton. Tiger! No! It's an exciting day in Catland. I normally don't tell my cats no, but there are a few things they just can't do. And that includes opening up storage boxes in my office and pulling paperwork out, which seems to be a favorite hobby of theirs as of late. Okay. Let's go ahead and kill this guy. I think we've done as much exploring as we're going to do right now. And he is dead. Turns into a crumpled heap. Okay. Now, so by pressing the AND symbol above the 7 key while holding shift, it says, what do you want to remember? This is monster memory, and what it would normally do is I type in the name of a monster we've killed, and it displays information on them. But something people do to remember what their first kill was is they go here and they type the name of the monster in. And every time they pull this up afterwards, unless they search for a different monster, that monster's name will show up in parentheses, and that's how you know what your first kill was. The other option, which is the one I used to use, but I'm now switching to this, is to rename your character. So for instance, I would rename my character Skeleton. But in this case, we are going to rename this character. Or we are not going to rename this character. We're going to enter into monster memory skeleton. And there's a skeleton, see? The weakest of the undead forms, only the bones of these beings were recalled to do the bidding of a master. They have almost no intelligence and so attack anything that lives, venting their hatred at the interruption of their eternal peace. Skeletons seem to have a DV of 13. They have a PV of about 2. They seem to have 3 hit points on the average. Usually they attack one time. They seem to have an average speed of 100. Excuse me, not attack speed, just speed, 100. So far you've killed but one skeleton. One kill on the average seems to be worth 39 experience points. Okay, so now let me show you what happens when I press the N key again. You'll see it shows up in parentheses, and so that helps us to remember that that was our first kill. Instead of renaming MeMeMe to something else. We're going to leave this goblin alone. I do not want experience points right now, which probably seems odd. Why doesn't he want to level up? Experienced players will know, people who've seen more of my videos will know, that there is an area in the game that spawns monsters at twice your level. So what we do is we enter it at a low level so that it spawns monsters at, right now it would spawn them at twice 1, which would be level 2. And otherwise it's a very difficult area to cross. So we have the herbalism skill, which is what this character would get if we took the druid quest, which is one of the 3 starter quests that you have to pick from. So I'm going to take the village elder quest instead. He tells us to go find a carpenter in the village dungeon. That quest has a means by which we can acquire the healing skill, which is very important for a mist elf since they have low hit points. This guy over here is the druid. He's one of the other starter quest givers. We are going. Didn't I see a baby dragon over here? Or am I crazy? There's a baby water dragon. No, I don't want to kill the fool. That would turn the whole town hostile. Baby water dragon. No, stop swimming, baby water dragon. Go back. Come here. Which way are you going? Yes, there. Talk to him so I can report his location to his mother later in the game. He's lost. That's why he screams mommy. Let's talk to the little girl. She says she's lost her dog in a dungeon. We are not going to save the dog, but we will at some point learn of its fate and report back to her. There is a way to save the game, but it's difficult, and I tend to die. We are going to stack all the food. We do this because the shops restock based on how many tiles are empty in the shop. The more tiles that are empty, the more likely they'll restock. So by restacking everything, increase the chance that he will restock. Probably not that necessary with the shop, but it's good to do. Okay, since we have the detect item status, our character will randomly tell us the status of certain pieces of equipment and items. So for instance, she has detected that these are uncursed. We can tell the status of other items based on their price. So we can probably say probably that these are cursed. And give me 1 second here. Okay. Okay, so I just want to double check these are also uncursed. That math just took me way too long. It's been a long day. I spent 10 hours today staring at spreadsheets. So I've done a lot of math today, and apparently it's taken its toll on my brain. So these are also uncursed. Okay. So we don't have any blessed large rations. That's kind of a shame. Plant seeds, pretty much useless, except you can give them to farmers and it'll give you a slight boost to piety. Or not piety, to alignment, excuse me. I guess let's go ahead and take these 4 uncursed large rations. We actually want to be weighed down because if we're above burdened, it trains our strength. It makes our strength go up slowly, so we can hopefully get our strength up to 14 by staying overburdened. So let's go ahead and pay. I actually... Oh, we have to unequip the golden word pay. I frequently in the early game burden myself with food, since it's easy to get rid of it by eating it if we need to move more quickly. Of course, being burdened, strained, etc. it gives you combat penalties and penalties to speed. So we are burdened. Let's go to a small cave. Pack of wild dogs. Let's try to evade. Very good. Okay. So this is a small cave in this area. Monsters spawn at twice your level. We're going to kill the skeleton since he's standing right by us. Out of curiosity, which is dealing more damage right now, our melee or our missile? 1d6 plus 14 versus 1d2 plus 9. Okay. So yeah, let's go ahead and murder him with our sword. There we go. Let's read these scrolls. Scroll reads 142 paces away. Your goal is lying. There's always an item in this dungeon called the waterproof blanket. It protects your inventory against water damage. Not your equipment that you're wearing, but your inventory in your bag. So you really want to get a waterproof blanket. They're rare during the early game, and you don't want to lose equipment due to water damage. The next scroll will say time is working against you. Now that's a little misleading because what they're actually referring to is that the higher level you are, the tougher the monsters in this dungeon. And let me tell you, they get tough quick if you're leveling up in this dungeon. So we're going to chill out for a few turns and make sure you hear a thudding sound. I think that means a monster triggered a trap. Okay. And the reason we did that is make sure that all the monsters spawn in. So now we are going to leave. The dungeon is a little too dangerous for us right now. But now when we come back, all the monsters in it will be level 2. So let's go back to the starter dungeon. Oh, a new dungeon appeared. And that, of course, is the dungeon where the lost puppy is. Who will soon be dead. Okay. I'm going to anger this kobold because... Oh, or accidentally kill him. You anger things instead of killing them usually by pressing F7, which puts you into coward mode, which makes you deal less damage, and then kicking them, since kicking does... Did I misread that earlier? I don't know. Since kicking does less damage than hitting with melee, one of these numbers is different than I remember from a little bit ago. I may be crazy. Oh, do you know why it's different? Because we're in coward mode. Earlier I was in berserk. There we go. That was what was different. Okay. There's a goblin. We're going to kill him. Let's kill the bat. Back up. First aid. No recent wins to take care of. Okay, let's try to get some ground between this bat and us. Okay, there we go. Berserk mode. Let's kill him with missile attacks. Alright, we need to heal a little bit. Your muscles feel stronger. See? Because we were burdened. We'll want to get burdened again. We'll probably pick up some random rocks. Let's see if we can kill this goblin. There we go. Let's eat his corpse. And I want to go regen hit points for a little bit. Oh, there's an orc. Okay, well, let's go back this way. Kill him with gold. Whew. Those rocks, I mean, most characters, they wouldn't hurt you at all, and this character is so flimsy that a single rock wreaks havoc on us. Let's hopefully kill this guy. There we go. Let's pick that rock up to get back to burdened. We're gonna eat that goblin. Try to get some range on this guy. Kill him. He drops some gold. Okay, back to full health. Level 2, awesome. Okay, let's get alertness, because it helps us dodge projectiles. Also helps us detect traps. Let's get dodge, because it helps us dodge. Let's get... Oh, what do I want to do next? Probably first aid. Let's do first aid again. Then probably climbing. Climbing is useful during the early game. Our muscles feel stronger, awesome. Because there is something called a pit trap. And if you fall into a pit trap, you have to do a successful climbing challenge to climb back out of the pit. So I like to get it up to 50 in the early game so we don't accidentally get stuck. I'll take that crude knife. Oh, somebody killed a wildcat. That's okay. I'm assuming we can eat a wildcat without failing the cat quest. Again, for those new cat quests, there's a creature later in the game called the Cat Lord. If you haven't killed any cats, it gives you a really powerful artifact. If you've only killed one cat, he will not give you the artifact. If you've killed more than one cat, he is hostile. The more cats you kill, the stronger he gets. I'm thinking eating a cat corpse will not fail that quest. Let's find out. Yes, that's fine. Okay. It displays a message if you fail the quest, even if you don't have it yet. So, let's try kicking this guy. Okay, we're gonna grind for arrows. Now, some people will ask who don't know this game, why don't you just kill him and get the arrows off his dead body? Because that's kind of a weird thing here. The missiles they fire are not in their inventory when they die. They're not even created until they fire them. I believe the rarity of the missile they fire, and there's some really good arrows in this game, is determined by the danger level of the dungeon you're in. So I've often thought in the... Hold on a second, I have a brilliant plan. But let me finish saying what I was going to say first. If you go to a dungeon that the danger level scales, the deeper you get, I've always wondered if you have like a kobold archer right next to the stairs, if you shouldn't lead him down a couple levels and then grind him there for arrows. You might get better arrows. Probably not worth the time, but it's a thought. So an uncursed spear. Spears, if you train in them, give you a defensive bonus, which we desperately need. So, let me... Oh, and it already says it's uncursed. That's awesome. Thank you, item detection. Now, I'm not sure if this is metal or not, so let me run metallurgy. It could be wood, theoretically. First need to identify it. Okay. Well, we're at full health. This should go fine. Let's go ahead and equip it. Your skin is destroyed by the touch of impure metal. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and equip gloves. And we shouldn't take damage anymore. There we go. Cool, cool. Just gotta remember to keep gloves on. Gotta train up our abilities with the spear by killing stuff to get the defensive bonus. Okay. Let's go ahead and take alertness up more. go ahead and take dodge up more. Okay. That, the odds are the roll would put it above its max, and that would be wasting points. So, what are we going to do now? We can do concentration. We can do gemology, which does have some uses if you want to get a lot of money. We can do herbalism. We can do literacy. We can do necromancy. We can do stealth, or we can do survival. I'm going to do survival, so it's easier for us to run away from wilderness encounters. Not going to roll it again because it go over max. I'm not going to roll literacy because we're almost got the max up to 100, and this should just be wasteful right now. So should I do necromancy, herbalism, gemology, or concentration? I think I'll do concentration because necromancy drains our mana, whereas concentration increases it. Well, necromancy's strange. It trains your magical abilities while reducing mana. So after you use it, a while later, you will actually get more mana back from the training than you lost by using necromancy. Mist Elves always have necromancy. They don't raise undead, though. They create constructs, and they're the only race that does that. So let's go ahead and take concentration. I'm not going to roll it again because, again, it put it over max. So now let's go ahead and roll necromancy. There we go. Choose a talent. So I could take quick, which I prefer over careful, even though careful does give you a defensive bonus. I think it's better to be able to run away. I also think the speed gives you a defensive bonus as well. So I see quick as a better deal. Okay. Yeah, so since we really need armor, I'm going to take Miser, because after I take Miser, it opens up the Treasure Hunter skill, which means we'll find really good loot. So let's go ahead and take Miser. Okay. It's a Cobalt Corpse. Never eat Cobalt Corpse, but do kick them out of the door so we can close and open it as needed. Mangy, diseased animals. Let's get him into melee so we can train our spear. Boom. Again, melee. Spear, eat the goblin. Okay, softwood wand. Notice the icon for it. It looks like a little spider web on the end. That's because that's a wand of webbing. It always is. There's certain items in the game that always have the same unidentified name, or the same icon, or the same weight, or some combination thereof. This one, I think it's always softwood wand. Not 100% sure, but I do know it always has that icon. So let me pick that up, and then I will name it so we know what it is. G. Webbing. Item identification in this game is a real art. There are people that can identify all sorts of stuff just by the weight and the way it looks and the name it had and craziness. I'm not that good, but I do know that one. Really should have killed him with spear, trained spear, but oh well. Let's kill this guy with spear. No normal character would have an issue killing a jackal, but ours does. Let's use first aid. Oh, okay. Actually, let's go back and heal a little bit. Wrong button. Notice in the message log it says things like, where'd it go? You have a good feeling about the arrow? That's our appraisal skill. And you see it says fair, good. That says, it's a rough estimate of how good the item would be if we equipped it. Just scrolling through to see if it's identified anything cool. Tracking something. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and equip the useless equipment, because if item destruction hits us, I think this reduces the chance of it destroying our good equipment. Don't quote me on that, though. Goblin Rock Thrower. Let's kill him. There's the stairs down. That's locked. Let's do... remove our spear first, because we have to remove the gloves to change our rings, and we don't want to take damage from the spear. So then we take the gloves off, then fire resistance. Okay. Now F7 for very defensive. Kick the door. Take the ring off. Go back to stun resistance. Put the gloves back on. Put the spear back in. Okay. Okay. Kill this guy with the spear to train it. Kill this guy with the spear. You're bleeding. F7, very defensive. G for first aid. Stop the bleeding. Also trains first aid. Go back to the murdering. First aid. Realize I'm running a little over, so we're going to go ahead and finish this up. And then I'm going to call this episode to a close. I'm going to try and not do as much batch recording with this series. Oh my! First aid. Because that way, if we don't die right here, I can incorporate your comments in my play. I may have to batch record in some cases where work's interfering, but I'll try not to, assuming I survive this situation. Which really I should. It's so terrible to be hurt that bad by a kobold. Let's go ahead and hit him. Okay, let's try that again. Okay, we killed him. Let's go hide out and heal real quick. But yeah, I'm going to try to reduce the amount of batch recording I do. Did a bunch of batch recording last time because I was playing around with YouTube's scheduler, which I haven't had access to before now. And I just wanted to see how that worked and play around with it. Okay, so close that door so the beetle can't get in. Let's deal with these guys one at a time. Kill the rat. First aid. Let's heal. Let's eat. Open the door. There's the beetle. We're gonna try to get some distance on him. Throw some coins. Hit him in melee. So bad when these weak little monsters are an actual threat to a character at this point in the game. I mean, he's level 3. This beetle shouldn't be a threat. The Mist Elves are so fragile. This is kind of touch and go. If he critted us, he potentially could kill us. So let's hope he didn't crit, right? There we go. I was hoping he'd leave a corpse, though, because fire beetle corpses grant you fire resistance. Did we ever switch back to stun resistance? Yeah. Oh, ghost bat. Oh, he suddenly aged, which is no big deal, because Mist Elves live almost forever. Level 4. Apparently I'm going to go way over with this episode. That's fine. Train first aid some more. Train climbing some more. Train necromancy some more. Oh, we can get literacy 100. Let's do that. There we go. Ghost bats can move through walls. This guy shoots arrows. And kill him. Try to regen hit points. That's an orc. Scorcher, which may be dangerous to this character. Scorchers are fast-traveling raiders who leave nothing but death and destruction in their wake. Fear is their most effective weapon, so they paint their faces, bodies, armor, banners in garish colors with gruesome pictures spelling doom. The life devoted to killing, raping, and rampaging has left its mark on their minds. Don't try to reason with a Scorcher. Okay, so how far is our range? Okay. Whew. Guy for even got up close to us. Crude spear. Potentially better than the spear, but it could also be cursed, so... Oh, we feel more studious. That means our learning went up. Yeah. Okay, as we've seen, rock throwers can actually do some damage to our character because of how weak we are. I'm going to pick that rock up to increase our weight so we can get burdened again. We're hungry. I'm going to eat a large ration. Regen hit points. Okay. Oh, we left an arrow back there. We'll get it in a second. Oh, he dropped arrows. That's nice. That is a very dangerous monster right down there for us. That was Clawbug. They penetrate armor, and for a little bug, they do a heck of a lot of damage. So we're just going to leave him locked down there. There is also a Clawbug. We're going to run away from it. Close the door. Close the door. Close the door. Pick up the arrow. Oh dear. Okay. First aid. Oh, no recent wounds. Take care of. We took too long. So I'm actually going to go up a level. I don't believe the monsters move around while you're off the level. So we can come up here to regenerate hit points and not have to worry about them getting up too close to the door. More gloves. So let's get our hit points up. How's our spear training coming along? Pole arms. Getting a +1 to hit. No defensive bonus yet. Stone amulet. Let's see what that is. Okay, let's go back down. I think we will go ahead and kill this orc. Eat his corpse. Kill him. Take his sling. Homunculus. Kill it. We'll be having our own pet homunculus a little later. Pick up the rock to increase our weight. Let the skeleton come to us. Kill it. First aid. And this is where I'm going to cut the episode. So here we are in the, basically it's a beginner's dungeon, fighting for our lives. Whereas most characters would have entered in here on level 1 and slaughtered everything in their path. It's been Fritz Couch. See ya in the next episode. Bye.